Hey! Hey, everyone! Hey, everyone! Big day today on stream. How about those Texas Rangers? How about them? How about them? How about them? What a magical experience. What a magical experience it was. ALCS. 4 wins away. 4 wins away from making the World Series. What? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, they're just absolutely dominating. Are any of you guys cat guys? My cat has been sneezing a lot lately. Where is he? My cat has been sneezing a lot lately. And my allergies been really bothering me too, so I just kind of like, you know, poo-pooed it a little bit, just thinking, allergies, you know, whatever. But it's been a few days now, and now I'm just kind of like, maybe he's sick. Did you see AM Hoops video about the Mavs? No. Was AM Hoops the one who did the Kyrie Irving for DeAndre Ayton trade? Luka and Kyrie have a big problem already. Yeah, I won't be watching that. Okay, here's the problem, right? Is that the Mavericks, until further notice, are going to generate more clicks. They're going to be the sort of easy team to poke fun at and laugh at. Judging by the title, we're talking about Luka again. Well, yes and no. Here's the bracket: 64. 64 players on this one. Here's the link. You guys know the drill. You go to the link, click on it. As long as you have an account, it's free to sign up for this website. You can vote on these matchups. You can vote on these matchups. And we will figure out who is the best offensive player in the NBA. We did this last year, and Luka won it. We did this last year and Luka won it, and Jokic was on it. I just decided, you know, for Dwight Powell's on the bracket. Yeah, I just decided for fairness. that Jokic will not be on the bracket. I just feel like, realistically speaking, nobody in the league is really close to Luka. Jokic offensively. I tweeted that out, and then I had some people who were like, well, Luka needs to be on it. Like, if Jokic is on it, or Jokic isn't on it, then Luka needs to not be on it too. Yeah, AM Hoops definitely did. No Jokic to rig for Luka is crazy. I mean, am I wrong, though? Like, listen, there's actual legitimate arguments that, you know, Steph's maybe better than Luka offensively. Maybe KD, maybe Embiid. I'm not saying I would make that argument necessarily, but I'm saying there are actual arguments to be made. Like, it's just Jokic is in a class of his own offensively right now, and it just is what it is. So it's just not really worth going to war over it. Cat sneezing might be weather change. I wouldn't overreact unless it's weather behavior changes in other ways. Yeah, and see, like, my allergies are killing me. Everyone I know's allergies are killing them. And he's acting normally otherwise. But now I'm about to be like... Now I'm about to be paranoid and just like, oh, is he acting weird? Is he acting different? So do you really think I should have taken Luka out? If I take Jokic out, I should have taken Luka out? Well, that takes away half the fucking fun. Like, let's just be honest. Cats are notoriously stoic. They will not show any signs of anything, even when they are in pain. I mean, I was just playing around with them yesterday or 2 days ago. So. I think that boy's going to be all right. That boy's going to be all right. Make sure you guys are getting in there and getting your votes in. ESPN's doing a top 100 list. I'm kind of waiting a little bit to talk about this till it's like completely and totally released, all 50. All 100, I guess I should say. Wait, is it just top 50? Oh. I kind of want to wait and react to this like on a video, maybe in video form. Valanciunas makes the list. Okay. Colin Sexton, really? Top 100 player? Grant Williams? All right, nice. We can't vote. You have to start it. I did start it. Maybe refresh it. Is anyone else trying to vote and can't vote? There are some votes in, so. Make sure you guys are voting. It makes it fun. Harrison Barnes, top 100? Jalen Williams, only 95? Josh Hart ahead of Jalen Williams. John Collins ahead of Jalen Williams. Bobby Portis, that's high. Jalen Green, that's kind of high for Jalen Green at this point. I get it, though. Scoot Henderson at 78. I didn't even have Scoot Henderson ranked. Jordan Clarkson all the way at 77. Wonder where they have Wembanyama. RJ Barrett all the way up at 71. I don't even think I had RJ Barrett ranked. I just turned 26 and I'm kind of having a midlife crisis over being halfway through my 20s. How do you deal with being old? Well, first and foremost, fuck you. Secondly, I don't know, man. You just do it. Like, who really cares? At some point, you'll come to a realization that, you know what, being in your mid-20s that is not young. You know? I mean, I'm sorry, that's not old. Michael Porter Jr. ahead of Brook Lopez. Don't know how I feel about that. TBH. Zion at 57? I mean, what up, Cray? That's just... What is this unhinged photo? Andrew Wiggins ahead of Draymond. I just can't say I agree with that. Oh, they got Franz Wagner at 52. They had him not ranked at all last year. I'm about to run 609 days every day in a row. A marathon? A marathon 609 days in a row? That sounds intense. Wemby at 47. That feels... I don't even think that's physically possible, man. That doesn't sound good for you. You need some days to rest. Wiggins greater than Draymond? No. Oh, CJ at 44 is egregiously high, man. That is egregiously high. There's absolutely no way CJ McCollum is a top 44 player in the NBA right now. Just absolutely no way. Say whatever you will about James Harden, but he's not the 43rd best player in the NBA. Like, he's better than that. That's a little egregious. Like, I'm sorry, Maxi's not better than James Harden. So Klay Thompson's not better than James Harden, man. What are we doing? Klay Thompson, a top 41 player in the NBA? Ja Morant at 35. Kyrie at 34. I mean, what's the reason here for Kyrie? Team issued suspension and Brooklyn's eventual granting of Irving's trade request added to the 8 times All-Star's turbulent track record. What does that have to do with his ranking? What does that have to do with his ranking? But he remains one of the NBA's most skilled and productive guards, averaging 27 points per game, 5.5 assists. Who's ahead of him? Mikal Bridges. Jalen Brunson? Disagree. Jaren? Disagree. Paolo at 30? Holy shite. That's high for Paolo. I like Paolo. Trey at 28's too low. Way too low. Yeah, why did he fall 13 whole spots? While Trae Young saw an uptick in his assists to a career best 10.2 per game, his efficiency was not the same with his field goal, 42%, 3-point percentage, 33, dropping to lows he hadn't seen since his rookie season. Who's ahead of him? Lowry? No way, man. Brandon Ingram? Can't get there. Drew? Just no way. Pascal? Just no way. Why at 24? I get it because of the injuries. Yes, Sabonis is going to be absurdly high. I can already tell. De'Aaron Fox at 23. Sabonis at 22. No. No. Just no. Dude, they had Cat at 13 last year. What the fuck? I mean, Cat being top 20 is nuts. Wait a second. They're going to have 2 top 20 players on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Like, okay, guys, answer this question. Playoff game, you need a player on your team. Who are you picking, Kyrie Irving or Jaylen Brown? Answer that. Going into a playoff game, you just need to pick a guy. got some bonus stands in the chat. Come on now. Come on. 17th. You think Jamal Murray's the 17th best player in the NBA, man? Really? Really? Hey, Bam at 16. Well, you guys said I was high on Bam. I had him like 19. Dame at 14. Ant all the way up at 13. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just saw somebody on Twitter. What does Jamal Murray have to do to get respect? Win MVP? Drew at 26 feels crazy. Jamal Murray? Dude, he's ranked as the 17th best player in the NBA. That's fucking nuts. Jimmy 12. Devin Booker outside of the top 10? They got LeBron over Devin Booker. There is absolutely no way Devin Booker can be outside of the top 10, man. Absolutely no way. I could see a world where Luka's like 9th, actually. Devin Booker has choked in back-to-back elimination games at home. So who's in the top 10 then? Steph, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. Did I say Giannis yet? Giannis. Who am I missing? Tatum. No, Dame was 14th or something. Okay. Just can't see. Oh, Shea. Well, they already said that Shea's ranked 10th. Shut the fuck up and learn the worth of Sabonis, you lowly turf. Well, the good news is Sabonis is on this bracket. Best offensive player in the league. We're getting ready to get to it. Don't want to waste too much time. This is a big one. We got 64 players. Again, ignore the seeding. I just kind of threw guys on there. There was definitely some hard cuts here. Some tough omissions from the list. Didn't realize how absurdly talented. I mean, I guess I did realize, but kind of forgot how absurdly talented this league was offensively whenever you do a list like this. Or you just try to compile who's the who are just 64 guys I should throw on a bracket like this. Some notable omissions. Like, I knocked Drew Holiday out. Why? He's just not known for his offense. Is he a top 64 offensive player? Maybe, but I just wanted to get some other guys in there just for conversation. Clay, Buddy, like 2 knockdown shooters. Are they really top 60 whatever offense players at this point? Mike Conley, D'Angelo Russell, Norman Powell, Ben Math, Cam Thomas. Like, anytime I thought about adding those guys, I would just look and be like, well, who do I cut out? I just can't really cut any of these guys out. I have the volume off, so I just realized that the ranking was overall, not offense. Yeah, that was the ESPN's top 100 list. This is what we're doing right now. The best offensive player in the NBA bracket. 70 of you in here. I'm expecting some good turnouts here. 14 votes. I think we can live with that. Gonna spam it real quick if you guys want to participate. It's always fun when you guys participate. It makes it worth it. This is y'all's world. It's your world. It's your world. You get to pick. I'm just going off of what you guys say. Your Clay hates a little much. You know what? I think I can be a little bit stronger. What a scene, man. I wish I was there. Wish I was there, man. Boom, boom. Safe. Why they just show Travis Jankowski? Is he even on the playoff roster? Incredible. Look at this. Incredible. Do they have a realistic shot against Houston? Hell yeah, they're the hottest team in baseball. They can beat anyone. Bring on Houston. Bring on Atlanta. Tell them to bring out the whole ocean. Yeah, I have no idea. They have Cat at 20. That's just fucking hilarious. I mean, okay, so what's the rationale for I actually want to know. What do they say about, like, James Harden, for example, being dropped so many spots? I'm sure it's, oh, he's got the trade request. Well, okay, but I mean, he's still going to be playing this season. It's not like he's dealing with an injury. So what's the reasoning there for his ginormous fall off? Are they going to mention playoff performances? Because if so, Cat needs to be outside of the fucking top 50. Okay. But he lacks some sort of burst he displayed earlier in his career as a scorer. No, Clay's definitely not better than Harden. There's no way. There's no way you could think that. Yeah, he led the entire league in assists. I would love to go to a Rangers ALCS game. I just can't imagine the tickets. Can't imagine the tickets are cheap. Single game tickets currently not available. Can you even buy them on the Texas Rangers? SeatGeek, ALCS, cheapest ticket's $157 for the cheapest ticket. And that might be standing room. Are they doing that? No, those are for actual seats, but $157 a pop. And what kind of sucks about it is, since they're like the lower seed, you don't even know how the series is gonna look. Like, what if it's you're down 0-2 going into game 3, you just spent $150 on the worst ticket in the stadium. But also, if they just win 1 on the road, it's gonna be fucking madness. Get a booth for the viewers. That would be funny. Underground music plug loves Sabonis. Ticket prices are nuts in America. Yeah, it sucks. It prices out all the real fans, and it's just a damn shame. It's a damn shame. All right, let's lock it in. Let's lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Best offensive player in the NBA. We're gonna fire off this bracket. We're gonna get out of here. Not a long stream today. Not a long stream today. If we don't get into this bracket soon, it will be a long stream. In Germany, I'm seeing a hometown soccer team for 200 for a full season. Jesus Christ. All right, let's start off with the marquee matchup. Get your votes in. The link to submit your votes. You can still get your votes in. The link is pinned in the chat. I repeat, the link is pinned in the chat. Round 1, 64 players enter. Luka Doncic as the 1 seed. Ignore the seeds. Okay, ignore the seeding. Going up against Miles Bridges. Now you might be saying to yourself, how the fuck does Miles Bridges make this list? Right? There's definitely some jokes that I wouldn't condone at all. I would be upset at you for making, but some jokes you can make. Again, I wouldn't do it personally. Very tasteless. He was a 20-point per game scorer a couple years ago. Good isolation player, can shoot, can cut, can dunk, high flyer. I think he's a very solid offensive player. Unfortunately, he's getting 25-0'd in round 1 by Luka Doncic. What's there to say about Luka Doncic? We'll be talking about him as we get further into the bracket, I am sure. But Miles Bridges, I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. And because of that, I think people are sleeping on the Charlotte Hornets. I really do. I think they're one of the more juicy overs right now. And I think maybe you could get them even at a better price because the Kai Jones stuff is going to turn a lot of people off. I think the Charlotte Hornets might be a good team this season. I really do. By the way, next week is our full prediction streams. We're doing Eastern Conference, Western Conference. Should that be one stream? Both? Or should we do a stream for each conference? What do you guys think real quick before we go to the next round? One big stream, both conferences, or Wednesday, Eastern Conference, Friday, Western Conference? Both in one stream? I mean, I'm going to be streaming both days either way. I'll break them up. I'll break it up. It gives us a little bit more time to just really get into the nitty-gritties for all teams, okay? Next up, Jaylen Brown versus Anthony Davis. Very different players here. Very different. Anthony Davis averaged, 26 points a game last year, I believe, in the regular season. That number dropped down to 20 in the playoffs. I think that he's 22 points per game in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown, I believe, also averaged 26 points a game in the regular season. I could be wrong. $26 points a game in the regular season, 22 in the playoffs. Let's see what you guys... I don't want to sway the vote, so I'm just going to look at what you guys voted before I got on. Anthony Davis wins. Okay. Interesting. So is there some, you know, recency bias? Oh, he can't use his left hand. Have you seen that video here? Jaylen Brown, I think, is a little bit more capable of generating his own offense than AD at this point. AD can be a dominant force, but I just don't know if AD at this point is as great of an offensive player as we kind of thought he could be at times throughout his career. This is a toughie. I honestly don't know who I would have picked. I would have actually really had to sit down and think about it. But you guys picked Anthony Davis, the post-up threat, the interior scoring, the lob threat. Remember, what's up with all of the Sabonis stands in this chat? Remember, this is an offensive player only bracket, okay? But Anthony Davis moves on to the next round. Next up, we have Kyrie and Chris Middleton. Yeah, okay. Chris Middleton, a great offensive. That's a bit of a rough first round pool for Mr. Chris Middleton, but it's not just scoring. That's very true too. Kyrie Irving, obviously, one of the most talented and skilled guards the game has ever seen. Chris Middleton, a very strong player, very good postseason scorer, right? Good in the half court, good pull-up jumper, gets to his spot, nice little mid-range game, can play off ball, can play on ball. Very underrated playmaker too. I might add that about Chris Middleton. Very underrated as a playmaker. And that's pretty big for this Milwaukee offense. Obviously, it's not going to be as needed anymore with Damian Lillard in the mix. But Chris Middleton, a good offensive player. Just, you know, it's Kyrie Irving. Tyrese Halliburton versus Tyler Hero. Okay, lots of 100 O's, huh? Hero, a good offensive player. Again, not a very good first-round matchup for him, but good offensive player. Kind of does it all. Is your team going to be very good if he's like the focal point of your offense? No, it's not going to be very good, but underrated pick-and-roll ball handler. Tyrese Halliburton is just a dog. He does it all. John Morant versus Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson looked pretty good last night, by the way. Very interested to see what he looks like in the league once the season starts. That insane first step, the speed, the strength at his size. You know, can the shooting get there? That's really going to be the swing factor in his whole career. Is the shooting going to get there? Who the fuck voted for Scoot? Let's be honest. Darius Garland versus Desmond Bane. Okay, lots of blowouts. Desmond Bane, obviously one of the best shooters in the league. Great movement shooter. Great off of screens. Great catch and shoot guy. Very underrated with the ball in his hands, though, I will say. Much better than anyone really anticipated as sort of a guy who can generate offense for himself. With Darius Garland, DG the PG. I mean, what's there to say? Shea versus Michael Porter Jr. This should be another blowout if I had to guess. Oops, 3 fucking people voted for Michael Porter Jr. I like Michael Porter Jr.'s ability to shoot. Not a playmaker at all. Questionable sort of self-creation. But elite catch and shoot guy with that size, with that quick trigger. I mean, he's going to pull it. We know that. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just so versatile. And that de-acceleration. Just a thing of beauty. We love Shai. You know that. Jimmy versus Mikal. Jimmy wins easily. As expected. It's MPJ. The game is about a bucket. You're out of your mind. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averaged over 30 points. Like, that is crazy. So Mikal, obviously, what was it, 26 points per game after he got traded to Brooklyn. Not a great playmaker. Decent self-creator. The shot form is just very strange. But we've seen what Jimmy Butler can do as the main guy. I feel like the second round looks like it has some insane matchups. Kevin Durant versus Austin Reeves. Thanks for coming, Austin Reeves. Who the fuck voted for him? Who was it? Who was it? Who's responsible? Austin Reeves is a very good player. Just does a lot. Does so much off ball, on ball. Good player. But I mean, it's Kevin Durant. DeMar versus Paolo. Why did you even have Austin Reeves in here? Whoever was going up against Kevin Durant was going to get smacked anyways. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. I agree. I would pick DeMar. Paolo, maybe at the end of the season, maybe if he takes a second year leap that a lot of guys take, maybe with his size, his strength. He had a nice drive last night where he just got downhill and slammed it, and it was disgusting. And if his shooting comes around, could definitely see a world where Paolo gets up there, but right now it's got to be DeMar. He's still one of the most efficient isolation players in the league. Honest to God, just numbers wise, one of the most efficient isolation players in the history of the sport. Honest to God, he's in the 100th percentile in isolations, 100th percentile in post-ups. Like, it is just kind of nuts how insanely efficient he's been throughout his career. Yeah, and a very underrated playmaker. So, not that I expected. I mean, it was just a somewhat close matchup. I figured Paolo would get a good amount of. I thought Kuzma was on the very short list. Again, he would have been a lower seed and would have just gotten bounced immediately. So, Trae Young versus Jalen Green. Oh my God! Wow. All right, 30-0. Jalen Green, still inefficient, but very explosive, very deep bag. I think this has to be it. If Jalen Green doesn't show something this year, if by the end of the year we're not saying to ourselves, oh yeah, Jalen Green's actually maybe a guy, then it starts to get a little bit spooky for him. What is this? Is this year 3 or year 4 for Jalen Green? Year 3, right? Year 3 for Jalen Green. We need to see something. I'm still a believer in his, by the way. I mean, he averaged 22 points per game last year. It's not impossible. There's not a lot of history on his side, right? Usually guys who start their career this inefficiently don't really turn it around, but he just has so many tools that you want to believe in him. Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham. Not a very good first round matchup for Cade, but I mean, what can we say? We haven't really seen much of him. We saw rookie Cade Cunningham, who, looked like a rookie, played 9 games last year or whatever it was. Didn't look necessarily great in those games, but showed flashes. And then he missed the whole season. I'm still a huge believer in Cade. Yeah, he was in a terrible system on a terrible team. Oh, are you talking about Jalen Green? You're right on both guys. Still a huge believer in Cade. It has to be Anthony Edwards at this point, though. I do agree. Damian Lillard or Terry Rozier. I had a Terry in here because Terry Rozier is an absolute bucket. He is. He's a very skilled player. An absolute bucket. I wanted to include him on this list. But yes, obviously Damian Lillard is a dark horse to go far in this tournament. Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray. So in my mind, this isn't really close the more I think about it, but let's see. Okay. Brandon Ingram sweeps pretty convincingly. Sabonis has made his way onto the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Sabonis has made his way onto the screen. Breaking news. BI, at his size, his creation upside, his playmaking is still solid. At this point, it's just better than DeJounte. DeJounte's game is just predicated on, honestly, kind of inefficient mid-range jump shots. I don't love it. I don't love it. Ingram definitely over Murray. I agree. LeBron versus CJ McCollum. I believe CJ McCollum was also a 20-point per game scorer last year. I believe there was more 20-point per game scores last year than any other year in NBA history. LeBron obviously averaged 28 points, I believe it was. Yeah, 28.9 points per game last year, as well as nearly 7 assists. LeBron clears. We're waiting for the second round matchups for these things to heat up. CJ McCollum's efficiency was way down last year. I don't really blame him that much just because he was like the only guy out there a lot of the times. But it looked rough, and it scares me a little bit. I'm a little bit scared if I'm a Pelicans fan, to be honest with you, especially considering the contract that he has, which is 35 this year, 33 the next, 30 the year after that. LaMelo Ball versus Vucevic. Vucevic, very skilled for a big. You know, in theory, can step out and pop the three, but he really only had one season of being a good shooter, right? Well, he shot 35% from three this year. We'll take that. The year he got traded, he shot 40%. The next highest percentage for him was 36. So maybe a fluky year. But still a very, very talented and crafty offensive player. And an underrated passer as well. You know, good on the offensive glass, if you want to count that. I don't know if you count that as... You count that as being as an offensive player? Offensive skill set? Offensive rebounding? Seth Curry versus Anthony Simons. Shout out to Anthony Simons. He had a... What did he have that one game? Was it like a 30-point quarter or some shit? Steph 30-0's Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons, one of the biggest microwave scorers in the league. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, it's a little ugly and rough. But as somebody who has, myself, criminally underrated Anthony Simons, admittedly at times, I feel like he's actually getting a little underrated going into the season. Everyone's so excited about Scoot and Shaden Sharp. Anthony Simons, I'm a little bit interested to see what we get out of him. Jamal Murray versus Jalen Brunson. Oof. A tough first round matchup right here. This might be the best matchup of the first round. Let's see. Jamal Murray clears kind of easily. Okay. Let's talk about it. So Jamal Murray has the ginormous microwave sort of go the fuck off, scored 50 points without a free throw, right? He just has that in his repertoire. Plays off ball incredibly well with Jokic. Can play obviously on ball. Lights out shooter when he's hot. You can't guard him. Brunson obviously is just sort of the ISO god. Incredible post work and footwork for a guy his size. Great finishing for a guy his size. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have voted Brunson. I would have voted Brunson. If we're just going purely offensive player here, I would have gone with JB. I just think, you know, as the number one option, in Jamal Murray's defense, we have really never seen him as the number one option. But Jalen Brunson as the number one option is a little bit more appealing to me. I just like him with the ball in his hands a little bit more. Such a Murray hater. How am I a Murray hater? I'm a realist with Jamal Murray. All right. Jalen Brunson is a great offensive player. So is Murray, though. That's a really tough matchup. That's a really hard matchup. Either way, I don't really care. I'm fine with Jamal Murray getting picked. I mean, Jalen Brunson was going absolutely nuts in the playoffs. It was hard carrying his team. Just saying. I know Jamal Murray won the ring. Sabonis versus Franz Wagner. Not a good first round matchup for my boy Franz. Okay, people kept it a little close. Sally, can I run a Mavs bull trade by you later? Just run it by me now. Actually, run it by me when the first round's over and we give people a little bit more time to vote. So 10 people voting for Franz is a little bit shocking. I'm not going to lie to you. Franz is kind of a do-it-all offensive player. Plays off ball, plays on ball, can shoot, great at attacking the rim, can draw free throws. I thought about it. I think Franz makes the All-Star game this year. That's going to be one of my hot takes. I think Franz sneaks into the All-Star game this year. I do. I think the Magic are maybe a little bit frisky at the start of the season, and they got some eyes on them, and people are like, man, we need to reward the Magic. And Franz sneaks in. Would you rather have the Sabonis or Wagner? On my team, I'd rather have... If we're talking about the Mavericks, I'd much rather have Franz on my team, personally. I just would. It kind of depends on your team, I guess, but here's the thing about Sabonis. Is he a better offensive player than Franz Wagner? I do think so, yes. I do think he is. He's the hub of the offense. He's a great passer. He's a good post scorer. I think he has to be. Yeah, this isn't defense, though. This is not defense. This is the best offensive player in the NBA. I still don't know how far that brand of basketball can get you in the playoffs. Because at a certain point, you need your guy to shoot. If someone's going to be the hub of your offense, he's going to have to shoot the basketball because teams are going to make him. And he couldn't do it. James Harden and Chris Paul. This would have been a barn burner of a debate a few years ago. At this point in Chris Paul's career, it's really not that close. Harden led the league in assists a year ago. Chris Paul, still a good playmaker. You know, still the ball in his hands. You feel like... You think the Thunder will make the playoffs this year? The West is a bloodbath. I really don't know. You would like to think so, but there's no guarantees at all. I think people are a little too quick to jump on the Thunder, which is coming from me, who's loved the Thunder. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. Chris Paul is still a good playmaker. The ball's in his hands. You kind of feel like, you know, you're going to get a decent shot for your team. But Giannis versus Scotty Barnes. I didn't realize Scotty Barnes was in here. Let's just get this one out of the way. Someone voted Scotty Barnes. Hilarious. Paul George versus Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah. So interesting. Not a very good matchup for Kristaps round one. I think what Kristaps brings to your offense is very valuable. The 7'3" guy who can shoot from 30 feet away. Why is Broken retracting all of his messages? Obviously, last year, Kristaps was very good at posting up players. In years past with the Mavericks, that wasn't the case, but you got to give him props for his season a year ago. Paul George is, I think, obviously a more talented offensive player. He's got a deeper bag, a very deep bag. Wait, you can time guys out for 60 seconds now? When did they change that? Jason Tatum versus Şengün. Wow, okay. Hey, listen, I really got to give you guys a round of applause. I thought a lot of you would be on some Jason Tatum hater shit here. I really did. Not that I thought that he would lose, but I thought that there would be like maybe 8 votes for Şengün. But okay. Tatum, obviously a 30-point per game score. I'm not on the Şengün wagon. I think it's going to be hilarious the first few times that Ime Udoka has him on the bench at the end of games because of his defense. And Rockets fans are just like, wow, what the fuck is going on? Like, maybe is Şengün just not who we thought? Is Şengün just not who we thought he was? But obviously, Şengün. People say baby Jokic. I say baby Sabonis. Great passing, great footwork, great post player. Şengün is good. He just needs a chance. Put him with Nurse and let him cook. De'Aaron Fox versus Tyrese Maxey. So 2 of the fastest players in the league. 2 of the quickest players in the league. This one's close, 29-2. So I do agree, right? I would have voted for De'Aaron Fox, but it's closer than this would maybe indicate. Tyrese Maxey, I'm very interested. If James Harden gets traded, let's just say he does get traded and they don't get like another ball-dominant offensive guy in return, which they probably won't. I can't imagine who that would be. I'm very interested to see what Tyrese Maxey looks like full-time as like the second guy, because he looked really good in that role when the ball was in his hands more. But De'Aaron Fox, man, unstoppable, unguardable first step, great finisher, that beautiful little mid-range pull-up jumper. So it's not really fair having rookies on here. Well, it just adds to the fun. I mean, not really. I mean, here's the thing: whoever goes up against Embiid is gonna get slaughtered in round 1, right? Who? I mean, that's a lot of votes actually for Wemby. 23% of the votes for Wemby over Joel. What is the ceiling of Wemby? Can we talk about that game a couple nights ago? Wemby and Chet both looked really fucking good. I am interested about one thing I saw in that game for the Spurs. Is their strategy going to be, okay, Wemby, obviously we're not going to put you on bigs that often because we kind of want you roaming around off ball. He was guarding Jalen Williams. Is the strat going to be, if you contest on the perimeter or you're out on the perimeter, leak out? Because he was straight up cherry picking. Did you guys notice that? Straight up cherry picking. But man, he was knocking down threes. Man, it's going to be, yeah, he's going to have a friendly whistle, but also at the same time, like, he's that lengthy, that skilled. He's going to draw a lot of fouls. It's going to be really interesting to see what, did you know that in 2011, Mavs lost all preseason games? Yeah, man, shit doesn't matter at all. Okay. Bradley Beal versus Julius Randle. Ooh. This is a good one. Interested to see what you guys pick. Oh! I would have picked Beal as well, but I thought it'd be way closer than that, actually. I thought that was going to be almost neck and neck. The stench of Julius Randle's playoffs are just so bad. Like, it's just so bad. You can't really... When he's going, it's incredible. Like, the shots that he hits is insane. He's a good passer, too. Julius Randle is a good playmaker. But, like... God, the stench of the playoff performances we've seen from him, it's just so bad. It reeks. Isn't it literally like one of the worst of all time? And Beal is a great offensive piece, a great offensive weapon. He didn't win the scoring title. Steph won it on the last day, but Beal was second scoring. Back-to-back 30-point seasons for Beal. Zion or Pascal? I mean, this one's a no-brainer. Wow, a lot of votes for Siakam. No way. What is the argument? We're just if he's on the floor and playing, what is the argument for Siakam? Some of you voted for him. I want to hear it. Okay, well, health doesn't factor in here. Health does not factor in here. Who scores more points a season? I mean, that's really hard to say because we're talking like 20 games for Zion. But didn't he average like 27 last year or something like that? 26 last year, 27 the year before you played. That's the point, bro. Zion's never on the floor. Okay, but I got banned from Cat Stream for asking why he gets locked up by power forwards like Aaron Gordon and Grant Williams. Getting banned from Karl Anthony Towns' stream is fucking so funny for so many different reasons. Donovan Mitchell versus Freddie All-Star. All right, Fred VanVleet, get 100 owed, buddy. Just not a great year efficiency-wise for Fred last year, and there was times last night where it was a little spooky, where he's still taking some dog shit shots. Shout out to Dylan Brooks getting ejected in the first 5 minutes of the game, by the way. Donovan Mitchell's a dog, though. 70-point game. I mean, how can you go against that? By the way, shout out to Swoops GM on Twitter. They tweeted me. They tweeted out a lineup that I made, the perfect Mavs lineup, which was Kyrie, Luka, Josh Green, OG, and Bam. I got to be real. I don't remember doing that. Like, I don't recall sending this. NBA University hit me up asking me to make one, and I did. And it was not this. So I don't know if this was like maybe super, super old. That's probably what I'm assuming it is. I mean, they just never used it, and now they're using it, but pretty hilarious. All right, Devin Booker, Spencer Dinwiddie. Shout out to Spence. All right, I can already tell. Devin Booker's. There's going to be some hating shit on Devin Booker. I can just tell immediately. Shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie. 30 points in a Game 7 on the road. I voted Pascal because of championship and actually plays. I know you said when on the floor, but when is he ever on the floor for Zion? It's a factor. Shout out to Spence. Great shooting guard, not a great point guard. Great shooting guard, not a great point guard. Perfect next to a bigger. Peace out, water boy. I subbed, enjoyed the time. This is my last. All right, it's the brightest stars that burn out the fastest. Karl Anthony Towns versus Markkanen. This is a nice barometer to see how this tournament's going to go for Cat. Zion looked a step slow last night, Cam. That was a little concerning to me. Probably just a little rusty, but it was a little alarming. Because Zion's one of those guys. The moment he loses a little bit of a step, it's going to be a completely different player. Oh, whoa. All right. Woo. All right, we have a 50-50 split. Karl Anthony Towns and Markkanen currently split at 50-50. Wow. Okay. So if we're just going based off offensive talent, I think Cat clears fairly easily. Not to say Markkanen's not a great offensive player, because he is. Markkanen, 25 points a game last year, nearly 40% from three on 7 attempts. It's got to be Karl Anthony Towns, though, man. I mean, for all of Cat's flaws, of which there is a lot. I mean, hey, Markkanen averaged more points per game last year. And Markkanen, it's not just shooting with him. He's an incredible athlete, gets up there, finishes above the rim, is good at creating his own shot as well. Cat is just, I think, a little... Oh no, another vote came in for Markkanen. I'm going to give you guys 10 more seconds to get last second votes in. It's better offensive diet. Five more seconds to get last second votes in. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to be able to post this on Twitter. Listen, I think Cat's a better offensive player. He's just a little bit more skilled, a little bit of a down shooting year last year, but he is going to go down as one of the best shooting bigs of all time. I know we make fun of him for that. I think he's just a little bit more. Yeah, Cat's bag is just way deeper, more talented of an offensive player. Wow. The problems with Cat is turnovers get bad in the playoffs, and that counts for offensive bag. Like tutorial, you're not listening to the will of the people. Hey, I gave it. I wouldn't have voted for it, but I gave it. No, I'm not doing Cat. It's this democratic process. Cat's problem is his brain and his defense, which. So maybe you can make the argument that, hey, Markkanen's offensive game is maybe just a little bit more plug and play. But here's the other thing, too. Markkanen, we've seen flashes of it throughout his career, but really it was only last year that we saw him turn into the all-star level player. Cat's kind of been doing it for a while. Remember, slightly, you've always said this is not a democracy. We had a revolution. We had a democratic revolution, very violent. They overthrew the dictatorship and the fascist government, and now we are a full-fledged social democracy. So, Kawhi versus Bojan. Shout out to Bojan, man. Good player, good shooter. Kind of a deep bag, especially in his older age. But, Kawhi's a dog. Is a slightly delusional club unionized yet? There's a union vote happening. I've tried crushing it, but we'll see. We'll see. Cat's going to be a Mav at the deadline. Just remember, I promise you guys, I'll do 8 hours worth of mock Luka Doncic trade content if that happens. Zach LaVine versus Josh Giddey. Okay. Zach LaVine electric score. Josh Giddey, let's return to this in a year. Let's see. If Josh Giddey is going to stay on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and if they're going to be a great duo, him and Shea, he's going to have to shoot. Like, that's just it. He's going to have to shoot, and he's going to have to shoot well. And we'll see. And if he does, it's going to be a lethal fit, and he's going to be a great player. If he doesn't, well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We just want benefits slightly. Hey, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. All right, second round about to be underway. We're about to get a couple of at least stop assassinating all the citizens who speak out against President Powell. Not cool, dude. The government does not control what the Dwight Powell Defense Force does. Okay, they are not under the government control. We can't control what they do. Are they government funded? Yes, they are government funded. Is the Dwight Powell Defense Force, is their weapons funded by the government? Yes, it is, but we do not control what they do. Get your votes in round 2. We got some juicy matchups here. Every single matchup from here on out is going to be a little bit juicy, I think. This trade, all right, Colton had a mock trade for us. This trade assumes the Bulls decide to start rebuilding / pull the plug at the deadline. Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxey, Holmes, Hardy, 27 firsts, both seconds for DeMar, Caruso, and Drummond. So Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxey, Holmes, Hardy, the 27 first for DeMar, Caruso, and Drummond. Would have to assume the Bulls say no to that. Don't know what they could get for DeMar. DeMar's about to be a free agent. I don't know what they could get for DeMar. Caruso, I think, would for sure net them a first-round pick. So immediately, I'm thinking DeMar plus Caruso is only getting them one first. But then you do have, like, Hardy. Holmes is a nothing. Maxey's a nothing. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a nothing. Would you do Tim Holmes at 2027 first for Jeremy Grant? Yes. Most certainly. Does that even work money-wise? I just don't know if the Bulls would do that because you're getting like Tim Hardaway Jr. still has multiple years left. Maxey and Holmes have multiple years left. Hardy's interesting, but what if they just don't like him? Possible. Then a 27 first and 2 seconds for DeMar, who I don't know what his value would be, to be honest with you. Caruso would for sure get at least 1 first-round pick. And Drummond, I mean, that'd be great for the Mavericks. I would do that if I'm Dallas. All right. How many votes do we have? 25. I think that's about good enough. I think we can move on. All right, Luka versus Anthony Davis. Yeah, this one's not close. Anthony Davis, you know, can be a dominating force at times, but his offense is a little too dependent on others, and we're starting to get to the point in the bracket where you need to be a dog. You need to be a dog by yourself. And we all know Luka is like that. Kyrie Irving versus Tyrese Halliburton. Wow. Kyrie's just a way better scorer, and he's been doing it for longer. Halliburton did average 20 and 10 last year. Can shoot from deep. Great offensive player. Can create his own shot. Very good playmaker. Very good passer. Kyrie obviously has maybe the deepest bag in the NBA. Also a good playmaker. Great off ball. Great on ball. I don't know which direction I would have gone there, to be honest with you. Probably eventually would have just gone Kyrie. There's no Jokic on this list because he would have just dominated it. And I feel like I maybe should have left Luka out as well because I just know how this is going to end. But maybe it would have been better to actually have Jokic and see what a Luka Jokic matchup would have resulted in the votes. Halliburton is better offensively. Put them both as your lead ball handler and see what offense is better. Yeah, I think that Tyrese Halliburton is a better engine for sure. Just a better playmaker. A little bit shocked that wasn't that close. Ja Morant versus Darius Garland. DG the PG versus Ja Morant. Ja Morant always has some hate in these polls. As you can see, Scoot Henderson got 11% of the vote. Despite the fact that we've never seen Scoot Henderson play a real NBA game. Okay, Ja Morant does pull it out, but Darius Garland gets 10 votes. I mean, that's around fair in my opinion. I love Darius Garland. I'm a firm believer that once Donovan Mitchell leaves, because he will, that Darius Garland can lead the league in assists. Ja Morant's just a way better scorer, I think. Better at getting downhill, better at finishing. And whenever he's hot, it's just an unstoppable force, man. Of course, you have the explosiveness, the finishing, which is unbelievable. He's got great touch to go along with that athleticism to finish above the rim. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Jimmy Butler. Shai clears pretty easily. Okay. Here's the thing. You guys know I love Shai. And I would have voted Shai here. Just think he's a more talented offensive player. Just such a good ISO scorer. Good passer. Great finisher, great at getting to the rim, great at drawing fouls, incredible bag. Jimmy has done it in the playoffs, right? Jimmy Butler has done it in the postseason. Just sort of incredible at drawing contact, incredible at going to the free throw line. Great passer, great playmaker. The shooting is just not there all season for Jimmy Butler. Then he magically remembers how to shoot in the playoffs. Look at this. 4 seasons with Miami, regular season, 26% from 3. Think about that. 26% from 3 in the regular season in his 4 seasons with Miami. In the playoffs, that number jumps up to 34. Nearly 10 whole percentage points. Kind of wish that I would have voted for Shea, but I kind of wish it was a little bit closer. Kevin Durant versus DeMar. 2 of the most efficient scorers in the league. But obviously Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. Trey versus Anthony Edwards. Whoa, Jesus Christ. I was not expecting that to be that close. Okay. Trey wins. In my opinion, I would have voted Trey easily. But I do get it. I get it, man. Like, Anthony Edwards, the hype is through the roof. A great scorer. Here's the thing, man. Trey can score and pass. Like, he's just a great offense. Okay? You guys know I love Trey. Yeah, I also love Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a more complete player because he's just very good defensively. Trey was only 2 years removed from leading the league in total points and assists. Like, that's just the reality, guys. Incredible pick and roll ball handler. I mean, one of the better pick and roll ball handling threats in a long time. A very, very good offensive player. And I'm surprised that vote was as close as it was. Actually, not really. Everyone hates Trey, so I do get it. Damian Lillard versus Brandon Ingram. Yep. Dame clears here. Brandon Ingram, great offensive player. There's moments where you just want more. There's moments where it's just like, oh, you got to pass that. Or, oh, what? Like, why are you taking that shot? A lot of those moments for Brandon Ingram, but still a very, very good offensive player. Trey hype in 2023, Shaq Celtics. If I have to rely on one and you remind me of that Hawks Heat series, you already know I'm taking Edwards. Hey, man, Trey was good against the Celtics this year, though. You got to give him that. LeBron James versus LaMelo. Just insane what LeBron is doing in year 21 still. Still nearly a 30-point per game scorer. Like, what the fuck? The greatest scorer of all time. The most points in NBA history. How about that? When you go to LeBron's basketball reference page, it has his St. Mary's. St. Vincent, St. Mary's high school jersey. Does it do that for anyone else? Like, are they going to have Real Madrid jersey for Luka? No. Interesting. Do you think this year or next year is LeBron's last year? So I think LeBron's already played his hand. Because he has said that he wants to play with Bronny. Then he walked that back. There's just no way LeBron finishes his career in the Olympics. There's no chance. Like, if LeBron's already kind of committed to playing for Team USA, there's just no way he goes out playing for Team USA. So he's already played his hand. I think we have at least 2 more years of LeBron. Which is crazy to say. And he's still a baller. Steph versus Jamal. Shouldn't be close, but my God, with Jamal Murray's recency bias, Jesus Christ, he might win this bracket. What's even going on with Bronny? Is he okay? Yeah, I think he's playing. I saw him at the media day for them. Why not? It's kind of poetic to end your career representing the whole country instead of a team. Team USA guys don't care enough about. Team USA guys don't care enough about that shit. Like, that's probably something Luka will do. I could see Luka participating in like international tournaments after he's retired from the NBA for like years. Battle of the playoff shrinkers here. Sabonis versus James Harden. I'm very intrigued to see how this ends up. Very intrigued. Let's see. Oh, whoa. All right. Harden clears kind of easily. I didn't expect that, especially with the Sabonis love. Obviously, a couple of years ago, this isn't even a debate, but now there's some arguments I guess you could make. I still just think James Harden's really good. Like I don't know. If James Harden went to like the Clippers, that's good. James Harden went to the Nets, which is hilarious to talk about, but we look at that team much differently. Sabonis wasn't guarded a single time in a 7-game series. Yeah, I know. That's what takes me off the Sabonis thing. I'm not high on Sabonis at all. I just don't know how far a guy like that takes you in the playoffs. It's a cool thing to run your offense through a center or a big, you know, put him at the elbow, dribble handoff. But whenever teams are letting you shoot elbow jumpers, and you can't even fucking do that. I know he had a broken thumb, but. And also, I watched this guy get benched in Eurobasket. I'll always go back to that. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. What happens with Russ if Harden goes to the Clippers? That's actually a really good question. I was thinking about that too. Sabonis had a broken hand and back from Draymond. I mean, playing with a fractured thumb is crazy. Like, you got to give him some props for doing that. But it wasn't on his shooting hand, though, was it? Giannis versus Paul George. So listen, there could be an argument. Like, if you put this question up on like Hooper Twitter, this might get some traction. Giannis wins. Paul George has a deeper bag. Like, again, if you put this up on like the Ball Don't Stop side of Twitter, you might have an interest. It might be a closer poll than you would think. Yeah, from skill point of view, I agree. It's definitely Paul George, but we're just talking about who's the better offensive player. Like, the debate's always funny. It's like, well, if Giannis wasn't 7 feet tall and huge and athletic, like, it'd be Paul George. Okay, well, Giannis is 7 feet tall and huge and athletic. So, exactly. Giannis doesn't need a deep bag. Like, we do the hypothetical conversations all day long, but it's like, Giannis is 7 feet tall and incredibly strong and a freak athlete. Like the Kyrie greater than Shaq crowd? Yeah. The funniest one I ever saw was like a Luka versus Trey comparison, and they were like, well, if Luka wasn't 6'7", like no one would think he's better than Trey. And it's like, okay, well, he is 6'7", so. Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox. This is a nice little barometer here. How much hating shit are we going to be on for Jason Tatum in this group? Let's see. Okay, semi-close. In this case, it's for sure Giannis, but a lot of times in the playoffs, it does limit his offense. You're not wrong. Did win a ring, though. Fox is so good, man. It is Tatum, though. Tatum is just so weird. Tatum's got to be one of the strangest 30-point per game scores I've ever seen. Because I swear to God, I never saw him score 30 points. Hospital ring. Like, I swear I never saw Tatum score 30 points. Or if I did watch a Celtics game, and obviously the 50-point game in Game 7 was crazy. But if I did watch a Celtics game, he scored 30 points, they would like show the box score at the end of the game. And he'd be like, Jason Tatum had 32. And I'd be like, wait, what? Tatum had 32. Tatum consistently 50 balling the Pistons, and Hornets moves the masses. Tatum best non-superstar? That's fucked up. That's actually a hilarious backhanded comment. I'm going to start saying that on Twitter. That is a hilarious backhanded statement. Yeah, Tatum's probably the best non-superstar in the league. Every time I watch him, he's 0-8 in the first half and ends up with 28. Yeah, I mean, you got to give him some credit. Like, he'll be terrible all game long, and then, like, that game 6 against the Sixers, and then just pull it out at the end. Then he set a game 7 record for points in a game. Yeah, I mean, he went off in game 7. He's a little inconsistent. Like, he has, I said this all last year, for, like, if we consider Jason Tatum a superstar, which I'm okay with him being considered a superstar. If you consider Jason Tatum a superstar, he is, like, the most up and down superstar I might have ever seen. Like, it's just the highs, the lows with him are lower than any other superstar in the league by a mile. And yeah, his offense being, like, so predicated on those, like, sidestep threes when he hasn't, like, really been that great of a shooter in a couple years is a little interesting. But he's still obviously an incredibly talented player. He's a superstar. He beat Giannis and Embiid head-to-head. Well, Embiid in the playoffs doesn't count. Especially Embiid in the second round. That's like, it's essentially a bye. Tatum is a superstar, does it on both ends. Braun shoots 35%, put on a shirt. Tatum inspiring. Joel Embiid versus Bradley Beal. Always thought Bradley Beal would be on the Sixers. Always thought it. Yeah, Embiid clears. Just very interested to see third option Beal this year. What does it look like? That Suns offense is going to be lethal. Just interested to see what it looks like. And a good playmaker, too, Beal is. And a good off-ball guard. His catch-and-shoot numbers are going to have to be good this year. Yeah, I mean, I do think swap Luka and Tatum that the Celtics probably do have a ring. I'm just being real. Especially because what they've needed a lot in their finals runs, Luka is, like, kind of perfect for. Zion versus Donovan Mitchell. So I'm just going to assume Donovan Mitchell won this. Wow. Jesus Christ, guys. Am I just crazy about, like, am I crazy about how I view Zion? Like, if he's playing, I take him in this matchup fairly easily. Yeah. I think you guys are getting a little too caught up in him never playing. I don't think Zion will get the credit until people see it against playoff D. Zion won't get the credit until he plays more than 20 games. Like, that just is what it is. Can't space the floor, can't pass, and doesn't play. Easily is wild. I'm just, dude, I'm sorry. This guy's a freak when he plays. Like, he is like Shaq levels of scoring and efficiency when he's on the floor. Zion's never been to the playoffs, so we don't know how the pure paint offense will hold. No perimeter talent. I mean, in Zion's defense on the playoff stuff, it's not like Donovan Mitchell's been setting the world on fire. Donovan Mitchell also, his clutch numbers are just terrible. Zion played 1.5 seasons in 5 years. Was it even that much? I talked about this on stream a couple days ago, but I just remember there was a stat where the year the Mavericks made the Western Conference Finals, Dwight Powell played more games in that season than Zion has played in his whole career. True, he does have a 70. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's incredible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to poo-poo that. Booker versus Markkanen. How much haters are we going to be? Okay, Book does clear. I'm still shocked that Markkanen made it past Cat. But hey, it's y'all's poll, not mine. Bigs will always have a higher shooting, but Mitchell more offensive talent. Man, I just don't know. Zion's a good playmaker too. It's close. I mean, we haven't seen Zion enough, and I get it. We have not seen Zion enough. Hate it for him, but Zion is a bust. It's improbable that he suddenly becomes healthy on a consistent basis. Do you guys consider injured players busts? I always see that question get brought up, and it's not really fair, and it kind of sucks. But I mean, by definition, yeah, I think that counts as being a bust. Like if you're injured all the time, like it is what it is. Obviously, very worth the first overall pick if he's healthy. Not that stupid as shit. He's 24. But I mean, considering his injury history, I just highly doubt he ever just becomes healthy. Isaac guarding Zion last night was like seeing Haley's comment. Oh, man, that's funny. It really probably is. Probably very rare. So tell your grandchildren about that. All right, last matchup of the second round, the round of 32, and then we go to the Sweet 16. Kawhi Leonard versus Zach LaVine. Feels like a tough out for Zach LaVine. Incredibly talented offensive player. Any matchup Zach LaVine would have won, I wonder? Marketing, I'm taking LaVine. Wouldn't take LaVine over either of these two. Beal, I'd probably take LaVine. Paul George, maybe I'd consider it. Sabonis, I'd kind of consider it. Jamal Murray? No. I'm a believer in Zach LaVine this year. Why clears? I'm a believer in what Zach LaVine might do this season. All right, we're on to the Sweet 16. Get your votes in. Some good matchups in round 2. The matchups are getting tougher and tougher. We got any upsets. So ones that I haven't personally agreed with myself so far has been Markkanen over Cat, although I get it. I personally would have gone Brunson over Jamal Murray, again, although I get it. Wemby getting 23% of the vote against Embiid is hilarious. Zion over Donovan Mitchell. I would have gone Zion, but again, I understand. I don't think there's really any other ones in this round. Trae Young and Anthony Edwards was uncomfortably close. Kyrie and Halliburton is a bit of a toughie, and I would have had to really sit down and think about it. So what do we have here? John Shea. Oof. Giannis and Tatum is kind of interesting. Yeah, these are kind of easy. I miss Markkanen ahead of Cat. That's ridiculous. The justification was Markkanen's... what was the justification, guys? Markkanen's a little bit better of a plug-and-play offensive player. Could play in like any system. Don't know if I would agree with it, but hey. All right, how many votes are we at? All right, we're going. Luka versus Kyrie. I should have just taken Luka out of this. I should have just taken Luka out of it. It would have been a better bracket if Luka was not in it. Ja Morant versus Shea. Where's Jokic? I didn't include Jokic because, he's the best offensive player in the NBA, and I don't even think it's a debate. But then I honestly should have included Luka because I think Luka's just going to sweep this entire bracket by a lot. Oh my God! 29-3? Damn. Ja can't score in the half court? Well, he can. Their offense is definitely better in transition, but man. Wow. And you guys know how much I love Shea, right? I would have voted for Shea, but that's a big discrepancy. The spacing, scoring efficiency, and half-court creation all clear Ja. Yeah, the half-court stuff does intrigue me. Although I will say this. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his postseason career so far. Rookie with the Clippers, wasn't even that bad. Okay. Bubble, year 2, first year at the Thunder, not very good. Whatever. Young player. It is what it is. Was not very good in that second play-in game. But we can't say with any certainty that Shai's going to be a playoff guy. But he was very good in FIBA. And it's kind of similar-ish. What's the argument for Ja over Shai? If we were just going to give an argument for Ja over Shai. Better athlete. Just better at getting to the rim. Who's a better playmaker? Ja maybe has a bit of an edge playmaking-wise. Neither of them are, like, great shooters. And Ja has had some, like, legit playoff performances. So I'm like, legit put the team on my back. I'm putting up 45 points in this game. Is he better at getting to the rim? I think Ja is better. I don't know if anyone's better than Ja when it comes to just putting your head down. And his, like, insane ability to float in the air and get a pass off last second. And it always feels like it's a travel. Like, it's always like, how is it possible that Ja Morant did not travel right there? His foot had to be down. And they show a replay, and he somehow gets the bailout pass absolute last millisecond. Ja's athleticism enables him to play make better? Yeah. Shai's just much better in the half court, so. And Shai's bag is just ridiculous. Just a ridiculous bag. These two might have the deepest bag in the NBA. Luka and Shai. Kevin Durant versus Trae Young. Trae, I love you. I'm a big believer in you. Everyone knows it. Your time's come to an end, buddy. So Kevin Durant and Trae Young is closer than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Ja Morant to you guys. Am I reading this correctly? What's the argument for that? Steph is on here. Yeah, Shai kind of got a... Anyone who went up against Luka is going to have a brutal bracket. Trae Young has been a top 5 offense his entire career by himself. Is that true? Have they been in top 5 every year? 3 is more than 2? Well, Trae hasn't been a great shooter. Trae has better hair. Kevin a step slower, to be fair. It's been too bad... He was good against the Clippers. The Suns, the Nuggets, the numbers don't tell a full story. Kevin Durant did not look great in that series. And he was obviously terrible against the Celtics a couple years ago. Is this better offensive player or better scorer? Offensive player. Even then, KD's a great playmaker. And it's just still, even in his older age, one of the most efficient high-volume scorer in the NBA. I mean, he won pretty comfortably, so I don't even know why we're harping on this. Yeah, KD doesn't get to the rim a lot. That's going to be something to watch for this Suns team, although Beal's really good at it. Peace out, Fox. Can we get a poll for Shai or Dame in a bit? All right, at the end, we'll think about fun matchups that didn't happen, and we'll try to figure it out. Dame versus LeBron. Yeah. A lot of blowouts this round. I do agree. LeBron, still incredible, right? But it's just Damian Lillard coming off of probably the best season of his career, which is saying a lot. Really, Matt? You think LeBron wins this? I very much agree that Dame should have won this round. I mean, LeBron's still great. Dame's coming off of like one of the most absurd 30-point per game seasons ever. Slightly small penis. Laughing stock of YouTube sports. Dame averaged 32 and 7 on 65% true shooting. Yeah, man, he had an absurd season. 70-point game. LeBron playmaking is still very good. This is a close match. I mean, it's close. We have determined that these are the 16 best offensive players in the league, which is saying a lot in today's NBA. I'll show all the results at the end of this round. We're almost done. Steph versus James Harden. Oh my God, what a debate this was in 2018. What a debate this was 4 years, 5 years ago. Harden was better offensively in 2018. I mean, yeah, that year Harden won MVP. It was just what a fall off for Harden. I mean, he's just getting older. Lost a little athleticism. Still led the league in assists. So I feel like it's obviously the off-court stuff and demanding trades and shit and playoff stinkers. Yes, that muddies things for James Harden, but yeah, Steph and CP3 was a conversation for a while too. Steph and Dame was also a conversation for a bit. Steph's just been the gold standard for his whole career. He's going to be good when he's out of Philly. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on where. Giannis and Tatum. Interesting. Interesting matchup here. The Giannis Tatum poll about to pissing people off. Oh, God. Oh, you guys can see the results. Let's see. Giannis 21, Tatum 12. Huh. This one might be one of the closest ones in the bracket so far. I think Giannis is way better player than Tatum because of his defense. I would agree. Giannis is obviously a better player. But this is a offensive player. You voted Tatum. Tatum has no ring. I mean, Giannis did have that 50-point unreal game. So here's the thing about Giannis. Is there anyone better in transition than Giannis? No. Underrated playmaker for sure. Half-court stuff, yeah, it gets a little bit spooky. Half-court also gets a little spooky for Tatum, to be completely fair. Tatum, obviously a better shooter. It's still a very solid playmaker in his own right. This one is a hard one. I don't know. I think I would have eventually just gone with Giannis. Sometimes when it gets close, I think about how does their unstoppable night feel? Like when a player gets into their unstoppable mode, how does it feel? And I'm not gonna lie, when Tatum gets into that bag, into that space, it's pretty remarkable. Can you in good faith show these results to the public without tarnishing your reputation? I mean, I just say it's you guys. It's not me. I don't have any votes unless it's tied. We haven't had a tied one yet. When Giannis gets into that space, he's winning rings. That's true too. When Tatum gets in that space, he's dropping 50 in a game 7. But when Giannis gets into that space, he's dropping 50 in a finals game, closeout game. Giannis is getting locked up by Blake Griffin. That's also how you know you're an amazing player, is when one singular play gets constantly recycled. Tatum can ISO, drop cut, elbow cut, step back, raise and drop. The dude, an all-around player. Giannis is not. Most sane Arlington, Texas native in your chat right now? Yeah, I know. Two more. Embiid versus Donovan Mitchell. A little bit closer. What's the argument for Donovan Mitchell over Embiid? Those of you who voted him. What could possibly be the argument? All that hezzy tween talk. I want to hear arguments for Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell's a way better volume creator and passer. Reads through defenses better. You voted for Donovan Mitchell? Mitchell averages 4 more points and 3 more assists on 7% better from 3 in the playoffs. Embiid only good offensively against Mason Plumlee and Kelly Olynyk in the regular season. Oh, no. Three-level scorers can crack 20 in the playoffs, unlike Embiid. Hello, Slightly G's. Hey, what up, Texas Made? How is Mitchell even this deep in the bracket? Who did Donovan Mitchell beat? I think whoever he beat last round, I didn't agree with. So Embiid definitely has some coverages that definitely throw him for a loop. The postseason stuff's been terrible with him. But man, he averages like, he just led the league in scoring 2 years in a row. And listen, man, listen. Donovan Mitchell's not been very good in the playoffs either the last 2 rounds, okay? He just hasn't. Like, some early career stuff for Mitchell is carrying his postseason reputation right now. I know Embiid's never been out of the second round. Has Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell did average 36 points a game in the bubble. Okay, but here you go. Last year in the playoffs, 5 games against the Knicks, 23 points per game for Donovan Mitchell, 43 on 21 shots a game, 28% from 3. 2 years ago against the Mavericks, 25 points per game, 22 shots a game, 20% from 3. Yucky. Those are our Joel Embiid numbers. Embiid has like 10 turnover playoff games with only 70 touches. Listen. We know Embiid's a playoff. Listen, my top 100 players list, I had Embiid 10th. 10th on the top 100 list. Why? Because his playoff performances are so embarrassing. I don't know how you can, in good faith, have him any higher than guys who are like good in the playoffs consistently. Okay? Oh, let me see where you guys went with this one. Let me see what you guys cooked right here. Crazy think you had him over Jokic just months ago. I fell in the Kendrick Perkins trap. Let me see what you guys cooked here. I just can't on any level agree with this, guys. Why the reaction when you have Book as a top 7 player? So, I guess in my brain, as you can tell with my arguments for Zion, whenever I'm doing like this, best offensive player in the NBA, I'm really not factoring in injuries. Top 100 list, I am factoring in injuries a tiny bit. I want to say this. If Kawhi was regularly healthy, he'd easily be a top 5 player in the world for me. Like, it wouldn't even be close. He would for sure. That 5th spot's open. It would be Kawhi every time. He's just that good. Not taking anything away from D-Book. He's amazing. Book had a better offensive season than Kawhi this year. Just look at the numbers. I guess for me, it's Kawhi when the games get tight, when he's healthy and playing in the playoffs, is just the most insane player I've seen in the last 15, 20 years. Okay? That playoff run he had before he tore his ACL, where he beat the Mavericks in 7 almost single-handedly, was the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Luka Doncic played one of the greatest series you'll ever see, and it didn't matter because Kawhi just matched him step for step. The Game 6 flashbacks were just... I mean, he played 11 games in that playoff run before tearing his ACL. The Clippers won 6 of those 11 games, I think. 6 or 7 of those 11 games. He didn't miss a shot in the 4th quarter of games they won. 100, 100, 100 shooting splits. $100 shooting splits. And before he, again, got hurt in the middle of the postseason series, had 34.5 points per game against the Suns. Devin Booker did have that stretch in the playoffs this year. What happened the last series? Kawhi played all 7 games. Please go look at it. Was that the bubble? Actually, last series Kawhi played all 7 games. The Mavs series? The Mavs series. One of the most insane things I've ever seen with my eyes. Clippers are winning the championship this year. They're not going to be healthy, dude. I mean, at this point, last year was the last year, I think, for people to be like, well, if the Clippers could do it now, it's just like, okay, they're not going to be healthy, so who cares? Let's look at this little stretch here for Devin Booker in the playoffs. Last year. 38, 45, 30, 47. Just this stretch right here. This stretch of games. 38 points per game, 8 assists, only 3 turnovers. We'll take that ratio. 62% from the field, 54% from deep. It's so interesting how Kawhi would be looked at 20 years' time. It really will. All right. Enough is enough. But then you have this right here. 12 points on 13 shots in the closeout game against the Nuggets. 11 points on 14 shots. Game 7 against the Mavericks. All right, we have our final 4. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is the Elite 8. Elite 8. We have our Elite 8. Luka and Shea. KD and Dame. Oh, that's a good one. Is this playoff performance now or offensive players? Offensive players, but damn it, it matters. Whenever I say it matters. Steph versus Giannis. Embiid versus D-Book. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Which ones did I disagree with that round? Let's see. Luka and Kyrie. Shea and Ja. Thought that should have been a little bit closer, but I definitely agree with Shea. KD and Trey. Agree with that one. Dame and Bron. Agree with that one. Steph and Harden. Agree with that one. Giannis and Tatum. That's a tough one. I'd really have to sit down and think about that one. Embiid and D-Mitch. I agree with that one. Book and Kawhi. I would have gone with Kawhi. I'm sorry. But I'm a Kawhi guy. You guys know that through and through. You guys know that I'm a Kawhi guy. Let's get your votes in. There's some interesting matchups here. I'm sorry for what you're about to see. Oh, God. Okay, Luka versus Shea. Luka wins. Honest to God, probably should have not included Luka in this. Or just included Jokic just to see. So Luka makes it to the Final Four is what we're voting on. Players who get to the Final Four. Shea's incredible. You know, you don't see a lot of 30-point per games. 30-point per game seasons, period. But you rarely see them with that efficiency from a guard. Now, the next step for him, can Shea, like, consistently shoot? Because if Shea can find his jump shot, which he showed flashes of, was it the 2021 season before he got hurt? Should have made the All-Star game that year over Mike Conley. That was when Mike Conley got the Mike Conley got the Career Achievement All-Star game nod. Should have been Shea that year, too. Love Mike Conley. One of my favorite players of all time, but... If Shea can go back to, like, shooting efficiently from three, I mean, I don't... How do you even stop him? Like, literally, what can he not do? Kevin Durant or Damian Lillard? I'm interested to see what this looks like. Kevin Durant wins 20-10. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Part of me feels like I would have voted for Dame, to be 100% honest with you. But yes, Kevin Durant, just an absurdly efficient season. That career should be Lillard right now. Not by a long shot, but still. I mean, it's a tough one. It's like, this is a hard one. What was KD's percentages this year? .29 points per game on 50, 40, 90. It was 50, 40, 90 guy this year. Jesus Christ. Is that the highest scoring 50, 40, 90 season of all time? Has to be, right? There's no way that's not the highest 50, 40, 90 season ever. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It's not. Oh, wait, no, it is. Y'all really overrating Durant as a 5-level offensive player? He isn't that problem. It's Dame, but the people have their agendas. It's kind of funny how everyone in here is like, yeah, it's Dame, it's Dame, it's Dame. Well, how the fuck did Kevin Durant win this so comfortably? Bro, what is going on in the chat today, man? Got some wild boys. Dame creates the offense. Durant is put in the right position on the offense. Dame better. Any advice to pick up my crush. I lost 15 pounds and it's giving me confidence like I can do anything. So what do you think? Here's what you do. You go to her, you walk up to her and you say, hey, did you catch a Slightly Biased stream today? And she's going to say, yeah, of course I watched it. And then you say, nice, want to watch Friday's stream with me? Come over and watch Friday's stream. It's going to be a PowerPoint stream. And she'll say, yeah, of course. That easy. Works every time. All right, Kevin Durant advances. I mean, it's not like I can be mad at that, to be honest with you. Want to Slightly Biased and chill. That's how you met your wife? Nice. Oh, yeah, I officiated that wedding. Steph Curry versus Giannis. Yeah. Nice run for Giannis, but I mean... Is there an argument for Giannis? Surely not, right? Where are we going here? Embiid versus Booker. I think I know who I would pick. I do know who I would pick. Let's see what the results are. Was this what everyone was saying I would disagree with? I agree with this wholeheartedly. I was just thinking about it. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Embiid's led the league in scoring the past 2 years. When Embiid's unstoppable, he's unstoppable. But man, you know what? At a certain point, can you fucking be good in the playoffs? Like, I'm sorry. At a certain point, can you not be horrific? Like, let's not, like, not even just good. Like, can you just be fine? Can you just be a normal Joel Embiid? You don't have to be insane Joel Embiid. Can you just be normal? At a certain point, you got to ask that. D-Book, for, you know, his flaws, his closeout game woes, has just straight up been a better playoff player throughout his career than Embiid. His offensive game, I think, is just more, it translates better. That little mid-range assassin, that elbow pull-up, he rises so high on his shots. There's no contest. There's no way to contest it. Good playmaker. Has that ultimate dog factor at times. Still think it's Joel just because of peaks, but fair game. I mean, obviously we're talking about the reigning MVP, so it's not like we're talking about some dog shitter. Neither have won a title yet, so the playoff performances don't matter. See, I disagree with that. Because I would kind of agree if this were like, oh, this guy has one playoff series. Embiid's been in the league for how many years now? D-Book's been in the league for how many years now? They've both had semi-extended playoff runs. I mean, D-Book's been to the finals. Embiid actually has never really had an extended playoff run. So, that's a strike against Embiid. You should make a list of the top biggest chokers in the NBA. I'm sure that'll make a lot of people happy. The path to the finals matters too. I mean, D-Book got lucky getting to the finals. But look, dude, the Sixers, all they had to fucking do a couple years ago was beat, who did they even play in the first round? I don't even remember. Was it the Wizards? Beat the Wizards, which they did, and then beat the Hawks. Beat the Hawks. And you are going to the conference finals. And they couldn't even do that. And everyone blames Ben Simmons for that series. It was Ben Simmons' fault. Ben Simmons' fault. Embiid had 8 turnovers a game, like over the last 3 games of the series. He went a whole second half without scoring a point. Like, at a certain point, I don't give a shit what your team looks like. The defense was doing X, Y, and Z. Man, I don't give a fuck. Guess what? Every superstar has to deal with that. Literally every single one of them. I get so annoyed when that series gets brought up and everyone is just like, it's all Ben Simmons' fault. Of course, part of it is Ben Simmons' fault, for sure. Part of it is Doc Rivers' fault, for sure, because he just can't help himself. Can't help himself but to choke. Here we go. The final four. So the championship matchup is going to be exactly what I expected it to be. I need to hurry up through this because this stream's running way longer than I thought it would. I have a damn, it's a little chilly. I have an HEB curbside order. Luka versus KD. Let's guess. Okay, I was about to say, does Kevin Durant even have votes? But he does. I definitely think that at this point in time, Luka's a better offensive player than KD, obviously. I mean, it is what it is. And now we have Devin Booker versus Steph Curry. Yep, Steph Curry advances. So the final is Steph Curry versus Luka Doncic. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. What would have been the final? Steph Curry versus KD if Luka wasn't in it? The Dawn. Oh, the Dawn for Luka. I thought you were talking about Donovan Mitchell because he did have kind of a miraculous run. Oh my God, what the hell's going on in the voting? All right, hold on a second. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. Okay, I'll give you guys a little bit more time. It's definitely a conversation to be had. Steph's is an entire offensive system. Defenses completely bend to stop Steph Curry from shooting. There are arguments to be made. How dare you, Sally? We all know the answer. Steph is so good offensively, they run two non-shooters. That is true. Steph has such huge floor spacing that they don't even need floor spacers next to Steph. But it does help. It does help to have the floor spacers. Oh my God. This might be even though this is a championship, this might be the upset of this millennia. I'm going to give 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's tied. Luka and Steph tied. 13 votes. No way. Slightly Biased is going to get the tie-breaking vote. Oh my God. Wow. The whole time. The whole time it came down to this. I get the final vote. I mean, Steph Curry's got the resume. And now that I think about it more, the greatest shooter of all time by a lot. Underrated finisher, underrated playmaker, which is kind of crazy to say for Steph. And again, an offensive system by himself. Right? An offensive system by himself. It's kind of hard to not choose him. The more I think about it, at a certain point, you know, I get the name of the channel. At a certain point, though, I got to be a little non-biased, just for my, you know, reputation. You think I'm sitting through this whole fucking bracket and Luka's not winning? You out of your mind. Seriously. You think we're sitting through this whole bracket for 2 hours and Luka's not walking away with the championship under his belt? Steph getting swatted if you pick Curry. Please don't do that. Steph voters, get the fuck out of here with your fake loyalty. Well, to be fair, and this is good. This is good for the channel. The Mavericks, obviously, it's still a majority Mavs fans in here, but it has branched out quite a bit. It has branched out quite a bit in recent months. Listen, man, Luke is just a dog. What is there to say? I mean, what is there to say? Seriously. Luka versus Jokic. Now let's get toxic. The fact that Steph got 50-50 in a Mavs stream tells you what you need to know. This isn't a purely Mavs stream. This isn't a purely Mavs stream. Oh, God. Maybe it is. That 60-point game from Luka in New York locked it in for me. Luka stands. Stand up! I'm 10 toes down for White Jesus. This season, Luka will be better offensively. I got Luka, baby, let's go. Well, so far in the preseason, Luka had 25 points in the first half against the Timberwolves. What did he do in the second game? I don't even remember. And then injured. Can barely walk against Real Madrid. Just casually goes 3 of 4 from 3. All right, well, there you go. Luka is the best offensive player in the NBA because you guys voted him over Jokic in the end. All right, fun stream, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get the hell out of here or else HEB is going to yell at me. Thank you guys for coming out. Yeah, listen, I wouldn't vote Luka over Jokic either. I mean, just thinking about, I mean, I didn't even include Jokic in this poll, so that tells you what I need to know. Thank you guys for coming out. All the OGs, guys, know I love you very much. Could have spent your Wednesday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. I will probably be posting a video tomorrow, sort of reacting to the ESPN Top 100. Are they finishing it tomorrow? And then Friday we'll be live. We're doing like a vibe check on Friday. We're PowerPoint stream. We're checking the vibes of every single team. And I'll report back to you with my results. I posted a video yesterday about Derek Lively, why I love him so much, why he's been so good in the preseason. So make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already. It's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty good. That's a bit of a soft launch for what I expect content to look like this season. I almost want to do daily videos recapping the game from the day before. But anyways, all the OGs, thank you guys very much. Go spend your Wednesday afternoon anywhere in the world. You guys spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Season is now 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. Content is just going to be churning out. The Mavericks play in two weeks, 14 days. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps me tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I will talk to you guys probably a video tomorrow. I'll be live on stream again on Friday. Talk to you guys then. Love you guys. Bye.